predictions right after these messages on World Series Report. Forget Custer's last stand, Sandy. This might be our last stand. All right, team of experts, what do you think, Sandy?
Well, I said I thought McNally was going to pitch a great ball game. I'll be honest, I don't think it's going to be enough. I think a great ball game probably won't do it. I think Baltimore is believing in the Mets now, and they're waiting for something to happen. They're not going out and trying to win. They're wondering what's going to happen to them now.
Mickey?
Well, there was 2 elevators here at the studio this morning. When I came up, I was afraid to make a choice. So I think that I'm going to go down with the Orioles.
You make no doubt.
Again.
We may be back in Saturday from Baltimore, maybe not. Jim Simpson with...
All right, thank you very much for that intro, Mr. Sandy Koufax and the late, great Mickey Mantle. I thought that clip was great. They were actually both right. Mr. Koufax went with the Mets, and Mr. Mantle said he was going down with the Orioles. So look at that. Both of them right, 2 for 2. That was the pregame there with Game 5 of the '69 World Series. All right, let's get the RTS out of the way. So this one came back from the Reds, and you can see up there, it came back from Buddy Bell. At least they just threw it in their own envelope and paid for the postage, and I was able to get my return envelope and postage back. But these are the 3 that came back: the 73 tops, 85 flare, and the 77 tops. Oh well, it would have been fun to get those, but it is what it is. But let's move on to these awesome successes. So as you can tell by the intro, that this is going to be a certain theme here. So let's get right to it. Our first player. First up, this player had played his whole career in a Mets uniform from '62 to '79. He's actually one of the original Mets, and a team record of 153 games played for the Mets. A record that is surely safe at this point, I would say. And he is none other than, there he is, Mr. Ed Kranepool. Best wishes, Ed Kranepool. And you're going to see a lot of these are photos. These are actually the first photos I've ever sent out. So pretty excited to get these back and showcase them. We'll put that there. I don't have the big easels to put these on, so we'll just put them down there. So there's Mr. Kranepool, and he was actually an All-Star in '65, and in the World Series he was 1 for 4 with a home run and 1 RBI, where he batted .250 with a run scored. Unfortunately, Mr. Kranepool has battled diabetes for a while now. Unfortunately, he had some toes amputated on 1 foot. He was on a kidney transplant waiting list for about a year, and until a Port Authority officer named Brian Cooney of New York decided to make a selfless donation. He actually donated a kidney, which was matched up with a Long Island firefighter. And who actually needed a kidney transplant himself. And the firefighter's wife wasn't a match for him, but as part of the registry exchange program, she paid it forward and donated 1 of her kidneys. And that kidney was actually a match to Mr. Kranepool. How awesome is that? A happy ending for all involved and an inspiration for many, very much so, especially during these times. This is actually in 2019, I believe, is when all this took place. But the irony in all this is that the police officer who started this whole chain of events that saved a Met legend is actually a Yankees fan. And he did say he has no intention of converting allegiances. I love the story, and God bless them all. Hope the heroes and the beneficiaries of these donations do well for many, many years to come. And thank you, Mr. Kranepool. We're happy that the transplant was successful and you are doing well. Wishing you many, many more years, and thank you again for signing that. It is much appreciated. All right, so our next '69 Met did not pitch in the postseason, but he was on the roster. Between Seaver and Kuzman and Gentry, they gobbled up most of the innings. There was no need to bring in this next pitcher. And there he is. That's awesome. Mr. Jim McAndrew. And he wrote 1969 World Series champs on there. Very awesome. And not only that, but I also sent... Oh, and I apologize. Let me... Mr. Cranepool is now $10 per item, and that was a 1 of 1, and that was 6 days for Mr. Cranepool. So very quick turnaround. And on Mr. McAndrew, and Mr. Cranepool came from New York, and Mr. McAndrew comes from Phoenix, Arizona. And this was a 4 of 2, and it was a $5 per item donation. And he's very, very generous. I actually sent him this 1973 Topps that he graciously signed. But he also included 72 Topps, which is a high number in that set. And those are harder to come by. But he signed that, and he signed a 1970 Topps card as well. Sorry, it's not focusing there. There we go. And there it is. So he included these two from his own collection. So I was dumbfounded. I actually had to send a thank you note to him. It was very, very appreciated. Very, very generous of him. I can't thank him enough. Those cards look fantastic there. So that was a huge, huge success for Mr. McAndrew there. But actually in the following year, 1970, as you see on that card, he was actually the Mets' number 3 starter after Seaver and Koosman. And he pitched ahead of Gary Gentry, who actually got to pitch a game in the 69 series. He actually pitched Game 3. The only other pitchers to see action were on the mound were Ron Taylor, Nolan Ryan, and Don Cardwell, pitching a combined 5.2 innings. That's something you will not see in today's game. Mr. McAndrew, thank you again so much. Thank you for the extra cards. It is sincerely appreciated. Thank you, sir. All right. All right, this next stud pitcher on the 69 Mets reunion show here, he did see action in the 69 series, and a lot of it. He would have been the MVP if not for the late, great Mr. Don Clendenin's heroics at the plate, which he had a great series and a well-deserved MVP honor, Mr. Clendenin. Pittsburgh's loss was our gain, and the Expos loss, I should say, as well. He actually went from Pittsburgh to the Expos for a hot second, and then onto the Mets, where he was able to win a World Series title and MVP. And this player is Mr. Koosman. There he is. I don't know what happened earlier, but you can see on the photo there, there's a little black eye going on there. So there it is. He has a great signature. I don't know, a little shaky there, but that's fine. Still awesome looking signature. So we'll put that there. All right, Mr. Koosman. So Mr. Koosman in the 69 series actually went 2-0, pitching in 17.2 innings with a 2.04 ERA and 9 strikeouts. Not too bad for an Appleton, Minnesotan who went from working on his dad's farm to the biggest stage in baseball under the brightest lights of New York City, and one of the biggest underdog stories ever seen. So, Mr. Koosman, thank you very much. It is much appreciated, sir. All right. This next 69 Met played from 68 to 81 for the Mets, Pirates, Expos, and the Tigers. And actually, in 1965, while playing for the Arizona State Sun Devils, he batted .325 with 4 homers, 38 ribbies, and 15 stolen bases, and leading ASU to the WAC championship. Also on that team were Rick Monday, Sal Bando, and a freshman not yet eligible to play on the varsity team, a player by the name of Reggie Jackson. ASU actually went on to win the 1965 College World Series. 4 years later, this catcher went on to win the 1969 World Series. Jerry Grody handled most of the catching duties, but this player did manage to get an at-bat. He went 0 for 1 at the plate. He still managed to be a part of destiny and be a part of one of the greatest upsets ever witnessed. And here he is, Mr. Duffy Dyer. And he also wrote 69 World Series champs on there. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome photo. Great player, great person, everything I've read about him. And I keep forgetting, I apologize. So Mr. Kuzmin was a 1 of 1, and he's $10 per, and that was 7 days from St. Paul, Minnesota. So excited about the 69 reunion here. I keep forgetting to give you guys all that information. Mr. Duffy Dyer was a 2 of 2, I should say. It was 11 days, and it came from, well, it's not postmarked, but I believe from Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. And he also signed a 74 Topps card, and he also inscribed 69 World Series champs. I sent $10. I believe he'll sign for free, but since I had a photo, I figured I'd throw in a donation, and because it's much appreciated and it's a bigger envelope, so I tossed that in. So Mr. Dyer, sincerely appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is very awesome. I appreciate it. We'll put that there. All right. Well, that's that one. All right, next up. Sorry about this taking a little long, but definitely enjoy talking about these players, I'll tell you that. All right, this next one is a 1 of 1. This comes from New Orleans, Louisiana. He's $5 per. So this next Met, and he's a 69 Met that played from 65 to 1973, namely for the Mets, but he did have stints with the Yankees and the Expos. Actually, in the 69 series, this player batted .400 with a run scored and 1 RBI, collecting 6 hits in total in 15 at-bats. The most by any player on either side in the series. He was actually best known as a good hitter and a subpar fielder. He worked hard on his fielding, and it paid off. He is best remembered for making an unbelievable catch in the outfield, simply known as the catch. With 1 out in the top of the 9th, and the Mets holding on to a 1-0 lead, Brooks Robinson hit a smash toward right center that this player caught backhanded as he dove flat out to his right. You need to see this if you haven't. I definitely can't do it justice by talking about it here. But Frank Robinson would go on to score, tag up and score from third on that play. But it prevented Mr. Bukpal, who was on first, I believe, from scoring the go-ahead run. So that was a huge, huge catch by this player. The Mets actually went on to win it in the 10th and take a commanding 3-1 series lead. And I'm sure you guys have all figured out who it is. And there he is, Mr. Ron Swoboda, who also inscribed the 69 World Series champs. He also included a little note. And there's his book, if you guys want to check it out. And there he is. There's the catch. There he is laying out. It was an unbelievable catch. I can't do it justice by even talking about it. All right, so let's put that there. All right, last up, last but not least, this one is a 2 of 2. And it took 10 days, and I sent $10 also to this player. I believe he'll also sign for free, but I sent in a donation because I definitely appreciate them signing these photos. They're phenomenal. I'm so happy to add these to the collection. So this next player, he actually grew up in Bethpage, New York, a mere 26 miles from Shea Stadium in Queens, New York. He actually played from 62 to 71 for the White Sox and the Mets. This player was actually teammates with one of the best infield tandems in MLB history, in both Nellie Fox and Louis Aparicio. This player was better known for his defense than his bat. In 1967, while with the White Sox, Mr. Frank Robinson slid into this player's leg at second base to break up a double play. Not only did he try to break up the double play, but he also broke this second baseman's leg. But this player would get redemption in 1969 versus the heavily favored O's. In Game 5 of the 69 series, Mr. Frank Robinson homered to give the O's a 3-0 lead after 3 innings. Don Clendenin homered in the 6th to make it 3-2, Leading off the 7th, this light-hitting second baseman went on to hit the game-tying home run. Now, mind you, this player hit 7 career regular season home runs, and he went on to have this big, huge home run in the World Series. Unbelievable. The Mets would go on to score 2 more in the 8th in Game 5 and win it all. For the series, this player went on to bat .455 with 4 walks, 5 hits, 1 run scored, 3 ribbies, and that Game 5 game-tying home run in Game 5. And if you guys haven't guessed who it is, Mr. Al Weiss. There he is on the 68 tops. I'll see if I can put that there. All right. And he also signed a photo. He also inscribed the 69 World Series champs. And there he is. Fantastic. That was fantastic. All right. Thank you, everyone. I hope you stuck with me throughout this long video. I apologize, but this is probably one of my favorite videos to date. Again, a thank you to Mr. Al Weiss, Mr. Ron Swoboda, Mr. Duffy Dyer, Mr. Jerry Kuzman, Mr. Jim McAndrew, and of course, Mr. Ed Cranepool. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, the support. Please like, comment, subscribe if you have not yet. And I will see everyone again. Stay safe and take care.